this is the first story that ever was told in the Bible, Genesis chapter 1. I know you know it well. God created his first man, Adam, and God created his wife, Eve. He put them in this beautiful garden, and it was called the Garden of Eden. It was the most beautiful place. And God put Adam and Eve in charge of that garden. They could name the animals, the trees, they could rule that garden for God. They loved God, and God loved Adam and Eve. In fact, God used to come down from heaven every evening when the sun was setting, and he used to talk to Adam and Eve. But God said there's one rule. You can eat whatever fruit, whatever tree you like, but there's one tree you must not touch. That's the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Now that should have been easy for Adam and Eve. They had every fruit that they could eat, but one tree, God told them not to touch the fruit. Do you know Satan made his first appearance, and he appeared as a beautiful serpent? And he said to Eve, did God really say, you'll not eat the fruit of that tree? And do you know Eve won the first battle with Satan? Yes, God did say that was one tree we will not eat the fruit of. Have you noticed, children, that Satan will always try again? He said, Eve, if you do eat the fruit of that tree, you become as wise as God. You know the difference between good and evil. And Eve was tempted, and she picked the fruit of that tree, she ate of it, and she offered it to Adam. Do you know, immediately they did that, they knew they disobeyed God. God used to come down every evening. They knew that God would come back. They went and hid behind trees. They suddenly saw they were naked. Before that, it didn't even bother them. They picked branches off trees, they made aprons of leaves, and they hid behind a tree so they could hide from God. Do you children think that anyone can hide from God? No, we can't, can we? And God came back that evening and he called out, Adam, where are you? And Adam called back, we're hiding from you, God. Why are you hiding, Adam? Because we picked the fruit of that tree and God was angry. He put them out of that garden. Already Satan had left. And he put an angel in front of that tree, in front of the whole Garden of Eden, so they could never go back. He killed two of these beautiful animals and clothed them with their furs. And from then on, sin had entered the world. Up until then, Adam and Eve had been perfect. But when they disobeyed God, sin came in and covered the air of the Spirit. They had to go out and work for their living. Before that, everything was provided by God for them. And sin entered the world. And you might even remember that Adam and Eve's their two first boys, Cain, killed Abel. And from then on, sin entered the world and has been there ever since. But children, God even promised to Adam and Eve that he would send a Saviour who would take away the sin of the world. Remember how when Jesus was born in Bethlehem, he came for one reason only, to die on the cross. Do you know, people love Jesus. He went round, he healed people who were blind, people who were deaf. He cast out evil spirits. All the time he had people pressing round him, healing them of the sicknesses they had. They loved Jesus. In fact, great crowds followed him. He was teaching from a boat, and he'd teach across the water to thousands of people. He was so tired from healing all these people, he got in the boat to go to the other side. And you know, a great crowd went right around the edge of that lake, and when he arrived, there were thousands of them, 5,000. They had nothing to eat. Remember the miracle Jesus did, he fed the 5,000. They loved Jesus. But people got jealous of him, and they nailed him to this central cross. And 2 thieves on either side. Now both these men really deserved death, but Jesus didn't. One thief, he poked fun at Jesus. He said, Jesus, if you really are God's son, why don't you come down from the cross yourself and take me down too? But Jesus could do nothing for that thief, because that thief didn't really believe in him. But this other thief on the other side, he said, don't talk to Jesus like that. We deserve what we're getting for what we've done. But Jesus doesn't. And he looked up at Jesus and he said, Jesus, will you remember me when you come as king? And Jesus looked across at the thief and he said, this very night you will be in heaven with me. That thief died a few hours later, but went straight up into heaven to live with Jesus.